Today, hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. Thank you very much for joining me, brethren, and welcome to the Temple of Truth tonight. So as you are tuning in, remember to read beyond just the caption of the broadcast. Please take your time and read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it. It's right there under the video. Again, also share it. So invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends to join us and tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. On Mayegun's Diary Political, which in itself is a storytelling platform for two purposes. The first one, by the name Diary, Political Diary or Political. We'll be able to keep adequate record of the political happenings inside that contraption for the sake of educating and enlightening the younger upcoming generations, in which we tell it as it is, share it as it is, and also we mention the names of those who are responsible for every action or inaction at one time or another, and nobody can change that narrative or change the history or whitewash these criminals like they did to those of our own time when we were growing up. Nigeria, which is a pure lie to start with, we're fed with so many lies that many of us, when we found out later, it became so irritating and annoying. And annoying in the sense that how did they manage this disjointed contraption this long? How did they keep it together this long? So our own children and our children's children, they will be able to know what really happened, who were those responsible for this failed contraption. Yeah, that is the first purpose. The second purpose is to teach those of us who are alive now, because before we die, we just have to try and live first. Something that has become so almost impossible under these criminals. Many people are just existing as we speak. They are not living. So for them, it is ideal to always kind of like, by sharing all what is going on, to keep their subconsciousness and consciousness are working all the time. And hopefully they can act, we can act to change the course of our own destiny, in which these guys are mortgaging. Mayegun's Diary Political. So we do this by storytelling. Storytelling in the sense that you can sit down there, even if you don't like politics. I can make you have interest because you can understand it better, including the intrigues, the intricacies, the lies, the gaslighting, the blackmails, the propagandas and all that. On Mayegun's Diary Political, we help not just to document for the future purpose and purposes, but we also help to educate those who are here now including those of you who are praying, right, for this Nigeria, or should I say, those of you who are praying for the criminals to succeed. On this platform, or through this platform, you can possibly get to realize that you are just, wishing yourself something not good, okay? Asking these criminals to succeed or praying for these criminals to succeed. You may be self-destructive in that manner. So finally, we know that failed system and the criminal politicians, they are not just existing in isolation. There are enablers. These are the categories of Nigerians who have bought into the lies. They are living the lie, and somehow, right, they are making it difficult for those who are seeing the light, or those who have seen the light, and those who are seeing the light, to really push these rogues down the cliff without them taking all of us. Unfortunately, the enablers are also watching this broadcast. Those who are helping them to spread divisive rhetorics, right? Rhetorics like the tribal division, ethnic division, religious supremacy, and all other vices that you can think of, which have all kept this enterprise, this Nigeria business going. And it became soldier go, soldier come, barrack no move, but the entire space is filled with the body of their victims, the victims of their policies. So it became a turn-by-turn Nigeria limited, unfortunately. And that is what gave birth the rotten system, the rotten establishment, compromised institutions run by compromised, questionable people with questionable characters, openly career criminals in charge of governance, lawmaking. Lawbreakers are making laws for everybody to obey. And it is also in this reality we've also established that one Nigeria is fraud, and that we are one Nigerians is also a lie. A system of fraud sustained this long, giving birth to rogues to take charge, including a former. I will use former because there is no recent evidence of his involvement in narcotic dealings. This compromised system and a failed country, right, has now produced the worst kind of humans, the worst of the worst kind of humans or couple, right, which is the bats and rats, okay, to ever occupy the highest position in the land of Nigeria. Tinubu, ladies and gentlemen, the most controversial human being ever. It was never like this. The case of Tinubu, right, especially to those of you who are Gen Z, especially you Gen Z, okay, the story of Tinubu, right, is like the story of Bokwari, okay. When Bokwari was the military head of state, the first and the only person to have ever democratically removed, to have removed the democratically elected government in Nigeria by replacing them with himself, Bokwari, right? During Bokwari's time, Nigeria faced hell. Your parents faced hell. But guess what? There were those who loved it. People were queuing. The economy was so bad, right, that people were queuing to buy washing powder, to buy sugar. But the highlight of what this is, lovers at the time, how to tell those of this who fell into their second trap in 2015 was that there was discipline. Nigeria needed this discipline. Nigerians were indisciplined people. They don't have this or that. Anyway, the economy tanked. Bokwari ruined everything, right? Jobs were lost. Businesses were shut. And they were also shouting corruption, corruption, corruption. Like people were corrupt, this and that. Anyway, cut the long story short, Charade, it ended up as the one of the most corrupt governments of that time. But the successive ones were like was okay. Babangida shut him out. Abacha also came. Well, Shonekon in between. Abacha came. Abdusalaam came, as well as Obakwaro and others like that. And then they kind of like prove to you that sometimes when you are counting millions being stolen, when we are still saying millions were being stolen, right, and we're being alarmed, we didn't know that billions will become nothing, that people will begin to steal trillions. And maybe I was asking the other day that after trillion, what exactly is going to be the next one that we are, the number, the figure that we have to like target, because it seems that they've reached the highest or the ceiling of looting, or you probably will see them today and say, I have seen the highest looters ever. Anyway, the story of Tinubu is the same, right? It is also the story of the government of Tinubu, right? It was a government of, you know, more noise, as well as more looting, and almost nothing to really show for it, right? But again, like Bokuwari, they were pushing the noise of, oh, he increased the IGR of Lagos. He had a Lagos master plan and every other thing like that, okay? So the story of Tinubu is not just about public looting. It's dated back to like 1980s. So David Hundeyin, their nemesis, right? David Hundeyin and another guy called Alan Greenspan, right? So they launched a probe. Mind you, before this was in 2022, right? They launched an FOI Act, Freedom of Information Act, okay, so FOIA request in America. Prior to this time, right, people knew there were those, right, in 1999, 2000, 2001, that witnessed the legal battle between late Dele, I mean, so I said Dele Farotin. Sorry about that, Gani Fawehimi, right? So late Gani Fawehimi, who was hell-bent, okay, in jailing Tinubu. You see what you are witnessing today during that time of the presidential tribunal trial, and people were coming up with different stories. That was exactly what they did, to the point that they started threatening, you know, Gani Fawehimi. People will gather in court to boo Gani Fawehimi. They will be paid. People will attack him physically because of this Tinubu that he is exposing Tinubu's drug dealing, right? So it's been like in the news. It's always been there. But somehow, right, the rotten system in Nigeria continued to shield him. But David Hundeyin, right, in 2022, via his associates in America, Alan Greenspan, decided to make an FOIA request. So that FOIA request were on Tinubu said drug dealing, heroin trafficking. Do you get that now? However, they now discovered that heroin trafficking, the $460,000. That if they open the file of Tinubu, it's not these drug things that majority of you are already aware, because some of you are pretty much like, oh, it no matter anymore, Jare. Whatever they want to release, may they release let's see, they won't release again. Waiting. Okay, everybody knows say in the drug dealer, in wife the drug dealer, they open accounts, they run accounts for heroin traffickers in Chicago. Here you get like, okay, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has already kind of like gave the green lights. Here you get like, okay, what is that you want to say now that is new? But David and Alan said, it is not just about heroin in Chicago. There were other states too. That you see this Tinubu that you are seeing. If you have watched the El Capone, I've been waiting the caller for inside the Godfather. For those of you who have watched that movie, The Godfather, right? That Tinubu is like in that category. You get that now? Like, they have this network. It's like having this network of drug dealers all over the world that even the MI6 in the UK, they have his data as well, his record. Like, it was like that's kind of like a massive thing. And it is not just that, not just drug. They are also into so many other things that Baba Tinubu said, if this record is made public, it will cause an irreparable damage. And he did fight, because that's where we're like, okay, hang on. It seems that there's nothing worse or whatever it is you want to say about Tinubu, expose about Tinubu. Nigeria is in the worst place right now. Nobody will do anything. Although, as Nigerians are people who suffer from Stockholm syndrome, you understand? And those who also love their criminals differently. So they are already divided on that. However, the outside world who know this Pablo Escobar, sensible people with their genuine money, not loans or genuine money, they are avoiding Nigeria. And this is a fact. Propaganda can't really run a country if you are running at different direction. Your propaganda is running to the right. Your government policies and decisions are running to the left, in contrast to to each other. So at the end of the day, what you have is this confusion. So what is that thing that Tinubu had to spend $17 million to make sure that there were standby judges in America? Because it was like, I've never seen any kind of fight like that before. I mean, like I said, it's Nigeria. Nobody really cares. The whole institution have been captured, right? All institutions have been captured. So who exactly is going to hold him responsible for anything? Who? Is the INEC just going to wake up tomorrow and say, we are disqualifying him? We are disqualifying him. Is that going to happen? No. Not that the court is suddenly going to say, oh, really? Oh, this evidence. This is very wrong. Okay, you know what? We are disqualifying him, and they should, in fact, be tried for breaking the law of Nigeria. There was a report of him being the CIA assets. So some people, Nigeria laughed it off. And they said that they are pressing due to say CIA assets. They laughed it off. They said, CIA asset. They were laughing. They joked it off. And they are watching their country economy tank, including now the rising insecurity. We're going to get to that part. So what did the U.S. District of Columbia courts, what did they say? When Tinubu's record were first released in 2022, did they release everything? Like, now, to make you understand, to those of you who might want to be like interested in this, right? There were parts where Tinubu criminal life is well documented. You understand, from every state in America. That is the reason why he became the guest of the CIA, the FBI, the DEA. What else again? Right? So that's how he became their guest. Okay? And then there is a part of Tinubu as well from when he entered America. The same way Tinubu said FBI, DEA, CIA, and all these agencies in America did not release his record. His record is talking about his life record in America, including when he suddenly appeared at the O'Hare Airport in Chicago in 1979 or so, with a Nigerian passport and one-way ticket. And then how he became a Chicago State University, student and all that stuff. There is more. There is the part of drug trafficking. There is the part of the money laundering. There is the part of human trafficking. You see all of this. when they make them public, what does that mean? What would that mean for Nigeria? Again, like I said, Nigeria is in the worst place right now. The fact that the Nigeria institutions were unable to stop this criminal, this drug dealer, this drug addict, and the kleptomaniac treasury looter, Kolu. Now, Tinubu controls these institutions. So the compromised institutions in Nigeria are now in his pockets by the virtue of him being the presidiate of that contraption. Okay? So that then makes it more like, what's anyone going to do? I have something to remind you of again, right? But before that, the first reaction of Tinubu's MAGA dog, you know who is the MAGA dog now? That is Daniel. His own reaction is this: mischievous and politically mechanized nonsense under the guise of US court orders, FBI and DEA to act. They claimed the order was given on Tuesday, but it never saw the light of the media until Sunday. There is nothing this opposition under the auspices of Coalition for a Wild Good Chase cannot try to do to keep relevance. They went to meet Bukwari, and it was reported that he insisted the meeting be held in or on camera so that El Rufaya would not go and say Buhari is joining SDP and PDP. Hard as they try, they are still struggling to convince Nigerians that they have any plan at all, needless alternative plan. That was what Dani Bulaba had to say. Indirectly or directly saying this news is probably distraction. Because he didn't really say fake news. He said the judgment was the order was said to have been given on Tuesday. That was like 4 days or 5 days ago. Why is he just making it to the news today? Very good observation, though, right? Again, that is nobody's fault. If the Nigerian media didn't pick it up until today, fine. But as for David Undenyi, as well as Alan Greenspan, who were behind the case, the FOI case. Now, a little bit on that again. You see, like I said, Tinubu spent so much money to ensure that, his record in America is never revealed. There is more that he is hiding. At the last count, imagine spending over $17 million just getting lawyers to stop whoever is making any attempt in any court in America trying to dig into his criminal record, even his good record or whatever it is, right? Just give something that, we can possibly continue to have an idea who is this Guinea called Tinubu. So they finally, it's America, you can always upturn any judgments that in some states like that, right? You can easily just upturn it and still get what you want. But unfortunately, Tinubu managed still, right, to stop them from, when he couldn't stop them from releasing some of this document, right? He then got a kind of like an order that says, okay, release them, but I want them to, to be, what do you call that thing again? To be sort of like covered, other way. Anyway, now we have a judge. Okay, hang on. Before that, to Onofununga, for example, who is like the senior advisor to Tinubu when it comes to communication, he's like it's senior to Bulaba, right? His own response is, Journalists have sought the presidency's reaction to the ruling last Tuesday by a Washington, D.C. judge, ordering the US FBI and DEA to release reports connected with Bola Tinubu, right? So he said, our response is as follows. There is nothing new to be revealed. The report by the agents, most of the FBI and the DEA reports have been in the public space for more than 30 years. The reports did not indict the Nigeria leader. The lawyers are examining the ruling. That's, that's Onofunuga, who is more or less like trying to be less mischievous than. So what they are telling people is that there's nothing new. Like I said, right? There's nothing new. Everybody knew that Tinubu was a drug dealer in Chicago. All right? But he didn't go to jail. So how can somebody be a drug dealer, right? And then wanted by the FBI, the DEA, name it, right? So the CIA. This is the defense of the Ronukuso. This is how they defend it. So they're like, it's America. If indeed, he is guilty, how come he didn't go to jail? It wasn't just Tinubu. And I think it's very good to clear this part, okay? And I don't think it's really going to matter. Because like I said, right? Nigeria is in very much like the worst place right now. And that's why you have a Tinubu as their president, okay? So there is no shame that can shame some of them. You understand? Like there's no level of disgrace that means anything to them. To them, these are just the enemies of their own oppressor. And they love their oppressors. Like I told you, they love their criminals differently. So Nigeria is in a worse place. But for the politicians themselves, right? Nigeria is in the best place right now because they are the luckiest human beings in public office in any part of the world. Nigerian, politicians. So to them, Tinubu should have been jailed, forgetting the fact that when they started the investigation of Tinubu, it started in the early 80s. And it was not even him. They were actually like investigating at first. It was his other partner who happened to be, a Mexican American or so, who is now dead. Just before Tinubu became your president. So from there, they also discovered other mules, those who are carrying drugs, either from Nigeria, from other West Africa countries like Guinea and all those places where Tinubu had citizenship, right? So into America, then into Chicago, and then other places. So they were actually like picking them and arresting them, and it got to a stage where Tinubu himself had to flee America. But like other typical criminals in charge of Nigeria today, right? When you look at the current Nigerian Senate, for example, right? The guy who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Public Petition, the ones looking into Natasha's petition, they were supposed to be looking into Natasha's petition, right? He's a criminal who stole from his own client as a lawyer. He was disbarred in New York, in America. He returned back to Nigeria, became a politician, a senator, making laws for Nigerians. The former speaker of Nigeria, what's that? Gbajabiamole, rather. Gbajabiamole was a lawyer in Georgia. He stole $28,000 of a client. And he got sued for it. He ran to Nigeria to go and join politics. He became the lawmaker representing Surulere. That's how he became a House of Representative member. And it was in Abuja when the judgment came back then, like about a few years back, that he's been disbarred. He can't practice law, not anywhere in America. He is the chief of staff to Tinubu right now. The current governor of Ogun State, Dubious Dapo, Abiodun of Ogun State, is a credit card fraudster in Florida in the 80s. He was also there, jailed or captured. I don't know if he went to jail eventually, because I mean, his mugshot is on social media, for example. Today is the governor in Nigeria. When Tinubu ran back to Nigeria, it was a moment, right, to quickly join politics, and he did. And he became a senator. He actually became a senator when the, what do you call it? When the agent Moss that they are talking about was questioning the money in Tinubu's bank account, in which he negotiated. That was the moment people believed that he became their mole. Story is long gone. So we really want to. So when they asked the CIA if Tinubu is their agent, because there's a record of him of being an agent of the CIA recruited just to avoid jail. CIA said that they can neither deny nor confirm, in which means that they can't say no, because they said they can't put, answering yes or no can put the life of their assets in danger. How many of you remember that? That too is also in court. So what that simply means is that with this new ruling, right? Give me a second. Let me see if I can quote. The judge, right? So the judge is Beryl Howell. Okay. So who made the order that he said, so that saying that the protecting the information from public disclosure is neither logical nor plausible. All right. And this is a U.S. judge in the District of Columbia, right? And also, I'm gonna. So that simply means that the FBI, the IRS, the DEA, the CIA, as well as the U.S. Attorney's offices of the Northern District of Indiana, another district of Illinois, right? So that gave protective, or what do you call it, protective coverage to Tinubu, who said if the release is record, like if they release all his record to the public, it will cost him irreparable damages, right? So what this simply means now, except if, I don't know, because they've been at it for a while now, right? What it simply means now is that we may now have the opportunity, do you understand now, to know who is this Bola Ahmed Tinubu Bat, Remy Ahmed Tinubu Rat, Segun Agbele, and others. So we know who they are, right? But we can then understand, we can put it in the, probably like put it in the history book for the sake of our children. So that when we tell them that there are no heroes past in that contraption, but criminals will never did time. Because some of these guys, if Nigeria was supposed to be a working place, some of these guys, they are actually supposed to, you should never hear about them, right? And because they would either be in jail or they will be dead by now because of the kind of crimes that they have been involved in. You know what I mean? So, for the Ronukus, especially Ronukus that are watching me right now, you should be happy. Maybe not happy, right? But you should be happy that this is your Nigeria. But the consequences of that is going to be for every one of us, though, right? Every one of us that goes out there who would have to explain. Like I said, the Ronukus won't care as long as Tinubu is their president, and they've said that he's going to do 8 years and nobody's going to change that and all that stuff, right? But when you have a president that is compromised, the one they have compromise on, right? It's make your country vulnerable. You are in the worst economic place right now. being led by a group of career criminals as we speak. Do you understand? So they are never going to, I mean, they don't have anything to lose than their freedom, which in itself is just in their own hands, right? To decide if they will lose it or not, okay? But the thing is this, the outlook for Nigeria, all right, out there, as well as you taking advantage of the compromise on this druggie, we spend a long time doom for the contraption, and you possibly would need to stop, disturbing God, especially those of you, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu bandits, have been at the Ronu coups, watching me right now, including those of you who are the Abrodian Ronu coups. Yeah, you know what I mean? So you possibly need to also know this as well again, by the way, like you don't celebrate for too long. What you have is a failed country led by career criminals. And when you have compromised leaders or leadership, the life of the citizens becomes almost next to nothing, in which what Nigerians are currently experiencing. And like I said, you can't use propaganda to run a country where your other actions or inactions and inactions are not only fueling different group of terrorists to feel like, well, they can possibly get away with anything, right? So propaganda can't chase that away. Everybody around this Kolu, the culture, jesters around this Kolu, who have been like licking his ass and making themselves or trying to make him feel good. All this, whether if you say something, even if you are their friend, and you say something and say, this is wrong, or maybe this is not so well, right? So they always take it so personal, right? So recently, when we leave this FBI stuff, FBI DEA and what have you now, so I am going to also be digging into whatever it is that they eventually probably allowed to share with us. So with this court judgment, right, or court order, I don't know if Tinubu would be able to prevent these irreparable damages in which this expose will cause. There's a particular part that actually interests me before I go to another thing now, right? Is that part where the supposed Tinubu or so that convocated for the Chicago State University was a girl. Her date of birth was 1954. Tinubu said he was born in 1952. That he went to Chicago, University of Chicago. That was the university Tinubu went to when he was in court with Gani Fawayimi in the early 2000s, right? So Tinubu changed that to Chicago State University in 2025. That's like 20 years. I'm sorry, in 2023. That's like 20 years after he said he went to University of Chicago, right? So now that he said he went to Chicago State Uni, Angono. So now that he claims that he went to Chicago State University, right? And also, by the way, it is also the same Tinubu who also told us that, hang on, yeah, I went to Chicago State University. I want to finish that, right? I went to Chicago State University, but he's a male. He is not female. So also, it's the same Tinubu who said that he went to a secondary school, that he finished from a secondary school. So when he went to this secondary school, at the time he finished from that secondary school, the secondary school was not in existence at all. Do you understand? So people said that before Tinubu before Tinubu appeared, I think David then he said that before Tinubu appeared at that O'Hare Airport in Chicago that day, there is no record of Tinubu anywhere. You get that now? That there is no record of Tinubu anywhere until the day he appeared at that O'Hare Airport in 1979 or so. So releasing some of his activities and all that in that place may give us an idea, right, into who is this person before she gets. So the only story of Tinubu that children must remember is that Tinubu was adopted by a trader, right, called Abibatu Mogaji. And Abibatu Mogaji from Isaleku at the time, right, was a socialite. And it was also around the time, okay, that it is believed that, drug smuggling, drug dealing, and all of that were becoming a thing in that contraption. So Abibatu Mogaji that adopted Tinubu from a home in Ibadan. There is no record of how old he was, but he was the one who named him Bola Ahmed. He's a Muslim. And that's how Tinubu became this, Muslim. You get that now? Shouting La Akbar, La Akbar. Like that, one of his famous videos. This one.
Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah.
So nobody knows anything about him. He has no childhood, friends. He had no childhood playing mates. He had no school mates. He had no, like nothing. So to the researchers who will need to put the story accurately and well, when they want to tell the story of this druggie, this Tinubu, whether not 4 years, whether not 8 years, so now no problem with that. Of our own children, we will not let them call a criminal hero, because if he's hero, so some of these zombies themselves, right? Honestly speaking, majority of them will likely not want. I mean, again, Nigeria is in a bad place, right? I want to say that majority of them would not likely want to openly endorse their children who is a drug dealer or a drug abuser. Some of us, drug addicts. I don't think they will openly. Some of those who are, doing everything to try to downplay this Tinubu and his criminal, life. Those who are trying to downplay it like it's not that bad. He's a Bujo Budano, he's always giving money to people. He's always like, I love that. So when you see them and say, are you going to be so happy when you have your son or your child who is a drug dealer? Would you be happy openly? Maybe they would be happy openly because, like I said, Nigeria is in a bad place right now. People are watching their own children or even pimping their own children for, sexual exploitation and all that right now, right? People are exchanging their children for food in Tinubu's Nigeria. So, yeah, maybe. But what about those who are religious people? Especially those, fanatics, extremists from northern Nigeria, okay, who were sold the Muslim tickets and all that. Like, how many of them can openly just come out and just say that drug dealing is great? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You get what I mean? Like, so good. Let them have access to drug. We are drug. Drug is very, they won't do it openly because they will tell you it is haram. It is very wrong. But Tinubu, the drug dealer, they actually managed, right, to convince those who stoned you for saying something about the prophet or anything about Allah. Suddenly they kind of were okay with a drug dealer. The irony though, right? The irony. So, but we want to see it for the sake of our own children. We want our children, right, to be able to read the truth, authentic stories of these criminals, how they all contributed to bring this contraption to our knees and make it or made it the hell hole, right, on earth. So our children deserves that. But Nigeria won't give them that. They'll keep teaching them of how the criminals past are heroes past. But they are no heroes past. These are a bunch of criminals who just didn't do jail because they are from that contraption called Nigeria. Zulum from Borno State raised alarm on the increasing insecurity. You see, just a few days ago, okay, the Boko Haram terrorists, or sorry, ISWAP terrorists, they invaded a military base in which they killed, I think, 3 soldiers or so, right? In Borno State, they set the entire base ablaze. And they succeeded, they went. 2 weeks ago, 3 soldiers who were traveling home to go and see their families from that same Borno State. They've not traveled 2 hours from that same Borno State before the ISWAP terrorists grabbed them. These are guys who, according to their friends, they have been fighting the insurgents, okay, in the northeast of Nigeria for more than a year and a half. They've not seen their family, and suddenly they just got promoted. They got promoted, they got paid extra. An average soldier in Nigeria get paid 50,000 naira. And 50,000 naira is like, you know, God damn it, man. Anyway, these 3 guys left their base and they were traveling down the north when these terrorists grabbed them. They kept them for days, and then they slaughtered them on camera. They published it, right? All of this in northern part of Nigeria, you know. So when now comes to the civilian attack, in Benue State, 4 people were slaughtered just 2 days ago as well, right? And prior to that, in Bokos, they have a record that over 52 people have been killed so far in a fight that's, it's not even a fight, it's an attack by the Fulani terrorists on the armless, hapless, the people of Bokos. You know, it's called, when their media were reporting, they said it was farmers' others clashes. How can it be the farmers' others clashes and women and children? And then the farmers, they are the victims. They are the ones whose dead bodies are littering everywhere. I have an image on my phone. I can put it on the screen for you all to see. It is an image that is so sad, right? Because it tells the story, the gory story of the level of insecurity in Nigeria. Now, it is like it is coming back. Remember when people said, the time when people said, oh, the Fulani terrorists were doing all of this simply because it was a Fulani man in government. And they were referring to Boko Haram at the time, right? Now, some said they will disappear the moment Boko Haram is no longer there to protect them. Unfortunately, it seems like we're wrong. So those of you who actually thought that, you are wrong. Because right now, as you know, it's escalating. I mean, come on, take a look at this picture. Viewers' discretion is advised, okay? It is graphic. Now, take a look at this quickly. Now, these are farmers on the farms, right? And slaughtered by the Fulani terrorists. They brought their cows closer to their bodies, right? That is symbolic. That is. Now, that's the situation in this contraption as we speak. The killings continues in Enugu, in Delta, in Edo, and up to the, what do you call it? Even Anambra, yeah, Enugu. These killings are coming from just, you know, same, you know, northern stocks. If it is not ISWAP, it is Boko Haram. If it's not Boko Haram, it is the Fulani terrorist. It is not the Fulani terrorist. It is the Nigerian army. Terrorists in uniform, of course. Or I even saw them was it yesterday I saw them, they were begging the people, the youth of Akwa Ibom to join army, right? So Zulum raised this alarm in which the Ronukus have actually gone for him. You know, he said, in his own state, so what it is like. Listen to this.
But I want to advise the communities to be resilient enough. I want to advise the Nigerian army to be resilient enough, because there is no way people will travel a distance of 700 kilometers to go to Damboa. Ordinarily, from here to Damboa is only about 100 kilometers. So I'm aware of what has been happening, but I believe the matters arising shall be dealt with, and then we shall strengthen the resilience of the community, but we shall ensure that movement from Maiduguri to Damboa should continue. This will not deter us from following the road. I urge the Nigerian military and all other security agencies to beef up security along the road so that such incidents will not happen again. 8 lost their lives, about 7 were severely injured, and 14 experienced minor injuries. Let me start with the responses. I don't want to join issues with the Minister of Information. I believe he's naive of what is happening in the country. He doesn't know what is ongoing in the country. Our discussions during the Security Council was not bad. We just raised an alarm that there is a resurgence of Boko Haram activities in Borno State, and there is a need for Borno State government, the military as well as paramilitary, to work together in order to abut the looming situation. I think this is a very good advice. Nothing has been said again. But most importantly, I want to assure you that we have been to Abuja. We met the service chief, especially the CDS, Chief of Army Staff, Naval Staff, as well as Air Staff. We receive assurances from them that they will do everything possible to control the situation. And we are so happy with the response that we had from the service chiefs. And the government of Borno State will continue to partner with the Nigerian military, will continue to partner with the federal government of Nigeria with a view to reducing the menace of the insurgency. And I want to assure the people of Borno State that inshallah, under my watch, Boko Haram will not have the capacity to do what they did before. We shall do everything possible to curtail them, and then government of Borno State will provide more support to the Nigerian army. We shall strengthen the resilience.
The Minister of Information or Misinformation under Tinubu, Idris, is ignorant, but is deliberately obtuse. It's intentional, right? That was a Zulum, their governor in Borno State, talking about the recent events where the soldiers were attacked, and I actually thought it was like 3 or so of them. There were like 8 who died in the hands of the terrorists. He brags that he would do everything to stop them. He would do this, he would do that. Well, that sounds assuring, but how and why is he not doing that right now? But if the effort, like he said, is to stop them from getting to the level where they got to back then, well, that is not, that doesn't really hold any substance, because in 2014, it was the Boko Haram terrorists that caused Imbroglio Lantern, expressive idiocy, right? Today, you have all kinds of terrorists where they said they have freed over 200,000 repentant terrorists, and yet the insecurity never abates. The insecurity keeps escalating. So it's confusing, right? That's the reason. That's the point. You're never to understand, because Nigeria's system is never to be understood by any logic. It defies all logic, right? So that's the point, Meanwhile, Peter Obi and his own team, they were spotted in Bokos, right, to go and sympathize, or is it commiserate with the people of Plateau State, the Bokos local government area, where over 50 people have been slaughtered in just a space of a week. Well, those who were also killed in Benue today, yesterday as well, again by the Fulani terrorists. So their governor had this to say. You know, he was the guy who told us that if anybody tells you that what is going on in Plateau State is farmers-others clashes, right? That person is being insincere and dishonest. And what is going on in the Plateau right now is a genocide. You know, religiously sponsored genocide. That's what he said. But this is what he told Obi when they met today.
Shattering effort that it will be difficult to forget in a long while. What you showed was that the will of the people can actually, when properly harnessed, can translate into a movement that will push the frontiers of democracy. But I want to thank you for how you have always stood with the downtrodden. It has become the hallmark of your life. And you have identified with the downtrodden across the country. Indeed, church services are going on. But if we understand the scriptures, it's better to be discussing something that will help humanity than going to sit in church. That was the principle behind the story of the Good Samaritan. We have a situation on our hands that calls for compassion, calls for action. And we want to thank you sincerely, sir, for taking out your time and hitting the road this morning, spending over 3 hours to get in here to commiserate with us and to be able to also look for yourself, see for yourself the challenges that people have been forced into. What happened in Plateau State, in Bocos to be precise, over the last 2 weeks was nothing short of genocide. I have gone from political correctness to call a spade a spade. That what we are having is not a clash. It's a deliberate, orchestrated, planned attack to evacuate people from their homelands. And yesterday we visited one of the communities that was attacked 2 years ago. The people had to flee from their lands. Ironically, their houses have been taken over by the bandits. Not only taken over, but even some of the houses have been demolished and the blocks have been removed to rebuild for the bandits. We've been playing with this matter as a nation for over 2 decades. The time has come when there must be elite consensus that this has to stop. If we don't wake up to stop it now, we may wake up and find out we have no country to call our own. May God forbid that. So thank you, sir, for coming. We appreciate all that you have done. I didn't know that he had even sunk a borehole for in Bocos before, and we truly appreciate that. And, we trust that together we'll be able to do more for humanity. And so, as you spend the rest of the day in and around Plateau, we pray that God will preserve you. And as you return to Abuja, may the good Lord take you back safely. Thank you for coming. Shattering effort.
That's Mutfang, their governor in Plateau State. And as for Obi, he had his own sayings there too, right? And then he went on to go and see the displaced people of Bocos, children, women. And this is the regular, sort of like the regular image you see when you are following news like this, okay, you're going to see women, children. They are the immediate victims of all this violence. Obi?
Every day, and we have no reason as a country to be going through this. We have no reason for people to be chased out of their communities that I live in. We're not at war. This is a country that is not at war. And I know that people know reasons behind this, and it has to be solved. People must live in their communities, be able to go to their farms, live a life that is protected by the government of Nigeria. Because that is the first assignment they have, to protect life and property. I thank you in particular for what the state government is doing under you. And I know that Nigerians are understood. We are praying with you. I in particular have always followed up what you do, and I've always condemned what is happening all over Nigeria, where our people are being killed, chased out of the communities for no reason other than they were people who felt they should accommodate on that and live there. And that we must all work together to solve. That's the only reason why I came here. May God Almighty continue to be with you, the good people of Plateau State, and ensure that all this is taught by families who lost their lives, and that God will grant them eternal rest, grant their families the fortitude, and that all of us support them at this time of difficulty.
Women, children, being subjected to that harrowing experience for something that is not fault of theirs. Vulnerable, unprotected, and always the easy targets for the terrorists. That's supposed to be the priority of the government of that place, but unfortunately, in real life, that is what that's as far as you get it. There's this man who's preaching kind of makes sense. He's actually saying this directly to his own congregation, rather than that Irreparable that is asking all of us to go and pray. This one is not.
To jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. Be a Yoruba indigene. Mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. I want to talk to you all. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí n bá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. And I want you to listen and accept what I'm about to say. Mo náà ti bà abúlé yín, wọ́n ti gbà tán. I said they are already usurping you from your villages all over Yoruba State. Ní Ogun State. In Ogun State. Osun State. Osun State. Ondo State. Ondo State. Anambra State. Even Anambra State. Gbogbo àwọn ilẹ̀ Igbo wọ̀nyẹn. Even the Igbo lands as well. Àwọn wọ̀nyí ti wọ̀. People are already entering those places. Tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti gba gbogbo ẹ̀. And they're already overtaking you people in your various states. What we are saying right now, this is not about religion.
Christian,
Whether you're a Christian
Muslim,
or you're a Muslim, and we are Yoruba traditional worshippers, this is time we must band together to fight for our father's land so that they don't overtake us in it. Don't let them use religion take over our land. All those villages they've taken over in Ondo State, when they wanted to kill, they killed Christian and Muslim alike. They are fighting for the land. They are not fighting for religion. They are just coming through the lens of religion. But I'm telling you, all Yoruba people, please be prepared. Nigerians at large, please be well prepared so that they don't take you away from your father's land. And calling onto the royalties in Yoruba land, the Oni of Ife, the Imperial Majesty, Kabiyesi, we greet you, sir. Please talk about this. The new Alaafin, please talk about this. All the kings in Ondo State, the kings in Lagos, Oyo, Oshun, please talk about this. Because when the war overwhelms us, we will not be able to do anything about it. Personally, I'm ready for war. I told you the last time that you should fortify yourself. Some people will say, why will a pastor utter that kind of statement? Please go and fortify yourself. Because when war comes, I will drop my Bible. I will go and fight for my father's land. When the Christianity came into Nigeria,
1842.
It came in 1842. That was when it came in. And the first person to compile the Bible, his name is Williams. They killed him on the 6th, 1536. They burnt him. He was lynched. The person that compiled the Bible for us. So don't let us put religion into our culture or for fight for our father's land. I will fortify myself and I'll be a leader. And if you can fortify people, fortify them. We will fight that war. I will drop my Bible because of my father's land. Because the Bible says it. Hebrews 6 verse 1. It says, set aside the teachings of Christ and let us do what is complete. We will now put it aside. Let's fight for our father's land. And we tell Jesus to help us. To help us in the war for our father's land. That's what we are going to do. When Jesus was caught, a disciple drew out his sword. His name is Peter. He cut off the ear of one of the soldiers. He cut off the ear of one of the soldiers. Jesus said, no. Keep your sword back in the shirt. That when the time comes, if you have a cloth, go and sell it. When the time comes, if you have sandal, you will sell it. Go to Luke 22. So, please don't leave the things of your father and the land of your father. Christianity does not stop me from fighting for my father's rights. So if you are Yoruba indigenous, don't just fold your hands. Don't let them take over our father's land from us. God will help us. Our ancestors.
Pastor, pastor, our mojo sticker ló show wa. Àṣé kò rí pé orí wa ti burú. Ìwọ má dira o, ìpápá ẹ̀dá orin. Jẹ́ ká wà Bible tó ń jẹ. Òjò gbèsè àgbẹ̀tọ̀ àbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbé tí a fẹ́ jókòó jẹ̀rà. Gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù. Àwòyí àárín. Mo mọ̀ ní pé wà nínú Bible pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù. Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù. Kí ni Jésù lò? Àfẹ́ rí ló lò. Ìwọ má dira ayé bàjẹ́.
Ayé bàjẹ́ nìyẹn. So those of you who are saying that your war is not carnal, nobody's not the talker. Your war is not physical, it's spiritual. You would have to begin to come to reality and realize that if you are fighting spiritual war, great. It is going to end up as a physical war. All right? Physical, in which, right, your war will become carnal, face to face. Here you get. So that's what the man is quite preaching there. And he's right. Because in your state, right, I remember this. You remember that time when I think it was OPC, right? Apart from the time that Sunday Igboho and his team went to Ikoko, right? So then the OPC went back again to uproot some of the kidnappers then in the Oyo north of Yoruba land, right? So scenario like this will make what that pastor was telling you make sense to you. It's physical. It is real.
Yeah. I know you're wondering who are these guys. These guys you are seeing here, they're actually looking as if they have been kidnapped. But actually, they are the kidnappers. When they catch them like this, they could just they calm. They go to carry face as if they cannot hold the fly. Anyway, watch to see how they were being caught.
Kidnap squared. So, yeah. So, this is to inform the general public that these are the suspects that were apprehended along Iloaje Road by anti-kidnap squad, Oyo, ably led by Asogba Victor. So these were apprehended today. As you are looking at their faces, as you can see their faces here now, they got apprehended along Iloaje Road by anti-kidnap squads, led by Asogba Victor at Oyo. Okay.
Anti-kidnap squad. They also have a Motekon, a supposed forest ranger or forest rangers who are supposed to protect, the farmers, the women going to the market and other stuff. And unfortunately, they are not allowed to really carry automatic rifles. But they have different kind of forces, vigilantes, anti-kidnapping, anti-this, or eventually they will be released, they will be freed. Soluma Kende Ibadan just hinted us that he is planning to build, airstrip, right? Somewhere in Oyo. So the airstrip is to serve 2 emergency surveillance shoppers. According to him, Oyo State will soon take delivery of 2 shoppers for security to surveil the states. And I believe it is also their own response to the increasing insecurity under Tinubu. She said,
I was planning a simple test trip at Plateau, really for security surveillance. One at Plateau and one at Ibeti. We are just about procuring the aircraft to utilize the surveillance equipment. But now, I think I have also caught the vision. We're not only going to set up the airstrip for security surveillance, we will also have tourism. Because quite frankly, from the airport in Ibadan with a caravan aircraft, it's going to take just 15-20 minutes to get to Otu, and then another maybe 15 minutes to get here. And with a good road that we plan to build, I think we can get people
Interesting, yeah? So, in their own effort, because in Yoruba land, we have 2 states that are facing serious attempt by these Fulani terrorists. They've been wrecking havoc, okay, in Oyo State, in Ondo State. So that sounds like good, It's just that, why can't they go all out for them? You know, you have, you have a southerner as your president right now. So what is their excuse for why the Fulani terrorists, the ISWAP, the Boko Haram, they have become, they are like a resurgence, emerging again, and it's called the resurgence of the violence. It is now on everyday basis, right? So you want more kind of like holistic approach whereby everybody can be on the same page and say, listen, there is no more fair treatment for these guys. Somebody said, what would you do if you had to say you want to fight terrorism in that contraption? I said, well, number one, I would only use my imagination, because it's only an imagination that will make me think if I was your president, because I can never be your president, right? So with that imagination, I can also pretty much like a power, I think, can end it, right? Insecurity in Nigeria, terrorism in Nigeria is now an industry, a very, very lucrative industry. And there are so many people involved, including those who are in government, considered as the sponsor, those who are shielding the real terrorists from any form of justice, you know what I mean? So if I was your president by now, number one, right, I would have declared Sambisa Forest ground zero by now. Like, territorially, you take it over. So which means the entire 140,000 or so spread of the Sambisa Forest, you declare it ground zero. No single terrorist can be found in any spare part of it, right? Ground zero. And you know what you're going to do with Sambisa? You build a holding cell, which is pretty much like a guillotine. Is that what you call it? Guillotine. You see, every terrorist arrested, every terrorist captured, you should be grateful to your God if you are killed. Like if you are a terrorist and you are killed, you should be so grateful to your God that you're so lucky. Like if you are captured, you will wish you were killed. Sure you get. Number one, you will never see the daylight. I mean, you never see freedom anymore, number one. And you're going to die in that camp. But before you die, you will pay every penny. Like, you know, all that money that Nigeria is spending on fighting terrorism, right? They will make the money back, right? They will make the money back. Billions, they will even make more of that money after declaring your Sambisa ground zero. It simply means anybody, any terrorist from the Sahel or wherever they are coming from, or those who manage to escape to the other side, like your Niger, Burkina Faso, those who manage to escape to those sides, they will be so thankful that they escaped. But you see those ones that are trapped inside Nigeria, they will be looking for any available border to cross and run. Because, you know, once you are captured, you are not going to the regular prison. You're not going to normal Kirikiri. No, waiting. You're going to a place where it's not suitable for human being to live. Never. Like you will wish that they kill you. The Nigerian army kills you. So by so doing, if you are a sponsor, you will meet your sponsoree. I mean, your sponsored there. The sponsor will meet their sponsor. So they are sponsored there. That simply means you are a minister or a former minister. You're a state governor, a former governor. You are this. It doesn't matter. The entire instrument or the resources to actually end all of this, they have it. But like I said, it is now an industry whereby everybody is doing everything to cash out from. As we are mourning the people killed by these terrorists in Plateau State, in Benue State, in Enugu State, in Ogun State, in Ondo State, right? In Oyo State, and all these places where people have recorded death recently, right? Some people are cashing out. In Yobe State, they are celebrating the rehabilitation of repentant terrorists. To be a repentant terrorist under this APC, right? All you have to do is to hold the Quran and say you will not do it again. I swear I will not do it again by Quran. You have repented. You see all those people you have killed? Yeah? Nobody's going to ask you. They will even pay you money. Because through that is how they're actually making their own money. So there's no way insurgency or terrorism will end. Now, because of corruption, all of our lives are now in danger. Whether you are from the north, from the west, or from the east, or from the... It doesn't matter anymore. You get that now? So when somebody asks me, what would you do different? I say, well, that's what I would do. You will wish to be killed as a terrorist than to be captured by the kind of a system I will put in place. You will wish. You get that now? You know, but here is what Referendum had to say concerning their own relation. He said, well, the Central Bank of Nigeria, they have been very good to them. You know, everybody is cashing out everywhere. Just so you know. And once in a while, they are giving themselves awards. They are patting themselves on the back, telling themselves that they have done so well, greatly. You know, some are even saying that Tinubu is grooming Referendum as his own successor in 2031. So, you know, that's what makes it even worse. You know, when you're doing something and you're like, this thing is not working, let's try something else. Or let's look at it at this and then explain to people and say, well, we understand that this is not working per se, but we are trying to figure out another way of, you know, making it less kind of like hurtful on you guys, okay? No, these guys are telling themselves that they are doing great. And like this is how they're like so comfortable. They are not like people under any form of pressure, running a country that is nearly up in smoke right now, a country that is economically comatose and security. Oh my God. But this is how they treat themselves.
I want to thank the CBN, Central Bank, since this coming administration, you know, we've been very, very, you know, very close, working as one. And we are to collectively, we address most of the most difficult things that we have met in our country. And you could see the results. And you will continue to see improvements. It's all coming out from where we are working. The CBN must continue to provide regulatory leadership. You are the leaders in this sector. You must take the leadership and support to ensure financial stability. I'm going to thank you. Thank you on behalf of all Nigerians. Thank you on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the head of this government. People know things are changing. The stability is here, and it is reflected in everything that we are doing today. The economy is beginning to take shape and take direction. We inherited one of the most difficult, if not probably the worst in the world in terms of mismanagement. He did. It's less than 2 years now. We are counting the benefits. And things are beginning. Just less than 2 years. To damage is easy. Correction is very difficult. But in a rapid and very, very fast way, we are seeing the changes. We are seeing it. It will be. And it is the direction that we are going. Not going back. This country has to change. No. We will not accept it. No more.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
You see that? Do you see what I told you? He's talking to himself like in third person. Like, you know, this country, we are seeing changes. We are seeing changes very fast, very fast. The economy is coming back. We met the worst economy ever. That's why I said they met the worst economy ever. But everything is coming back. Everything is coming back right now. The security, everything is improving right now. So can you now walk in and tell them that no, economy is not improving, or security is not improving, or it's getting worse? So when they are telling themselves that it's getting better, you get what I mean? But yeah, some will say, but that's what do you expect? That's what they will say now because they are in the government, so they will be saying all the nice things. I'm like, yeah, there's difference between saying something which is a lie simply because you are inside that government, and also to be believing the lie. Yeah, to be believing the lie. Enough that you even have people clapping for you in public to say, yeah. You know what I'm going? I want to assure you that you know this. Yeah, the Clappers Association of the Contraption, so to say, is the National Security Advisor of Nigeria, right? Adeboye said you should pray for that country. And you should keep praying for economic recovery, you know. So people have been responding to that. And in some places where they have already started running or their campaign for 2027. So this afternoon or this evening, I saw somewhere where Tinubu's senior domestic servants on Ofunuga, and then this Dogo, Maga Dogo, I've been a Maga dog. Here you get now, that is the Bulaba and the rest of them. So they came out and they said, oh, we are debunking all the, you know, all these people campaigning for Tinubu, right? That those campaigning for Tinubu for 2027, right? They are denouncing them, like, no, we don't know them, we don't want anything to do with that and all that. You know, so then I actually have videos where they have already put up posters of Tinubu everywhere, on the bus, on billboard. If you are in Abuja, right? If you land in Abuja and you are leaving the airport, so the airport road is also littered with Tinubu's billboard. So I saw one where a young guy knelt before Tinubu's poster. I was begging him, please don't run for that. Then I found another clip as well where another lady in Osun State, right? Those who are fighting Governor Ajogba Fida, the Ade dancer, governor, you know, dancer of Osun, Jackson, right? So they were dancing, saying that, and we're singing that Tinubu will use 8 years. I put all these videos together, and I'll use that as a mini break. I will be back in a minute or two when we go to River State. What is cooking, right? Oh, hang on. Before we even go there, talking about meeting the worst economy ever. That means that was what Bukwari left for them, Abi. Yesterday, the Babangida Mobile Banking CEO of Kano, who is also the APC, Egbekegbe's national chairman, that is Gandola of Kano. And Gandola led his own team, like the Atifku and the El Rufaya, led themselves to go and see Bukwari in Kaduna. So yesterday, the mobile banking, the Babariga mobile banking CEO owner, which is Gandola, also led a team to go and see the same failure. And somehow, right? The both group are talking about Bukwari said 12 million votes. I don't know. But then Gandola said they currently have 21 states, okay, APC, Egbekegbe, and they are hiring more. And this statement was made in the house of the failure that Referendum was referring to.
Thank you. We are here in order to pay our greetings to the former president, and also we took time to explain to him the achievement of our great party as he left it, and we promise to be briefing him from time to time. Concerning the group that came to see him, that is not of concern to us. This is just history trying to repeat itself. They won't have a joint venture, which will not work, because from what we have seen, there are just some particles that cannot come together, as you can see. So it's a game. We will not reveal our intrigues, technicalities on how to handle it, but we assure you we are equal to the task. The progress the president has made is very, very encouraging, and it has made our party much stronger. And we assure you, even though we are talking of 21 states, but we are eyeing other states that will come into our fold. Either the governors themselves will come, or we go for election and we defeat them so that we increase our tally. So we assure you, we are comfortable, but we are not resting on our oars. We shall continue. You know, it's politics, and we are used to this game. You know, the people who have joined the party, especially some big wigs from other political parties who came into our party, you cannot talk about the small percentage or even small individuals who left the party. That is not an issue. We are working on the statistics. We show you that there is no skewness like that. Appointment of members to public offices is dynamic. So you will see from time to time these people are appointed here and there. So, but we are coming up with true figures of the appointment to show you that there is no skewedness.
That statement or that press engagement was in front of Bokwari's house. So we'll see how that plays out, right? Now let's leave APC, Ebekegbe's chairman, and like what I saw earlier before they came out to say they are denouncing these guys, okay? So I compiled this, Tinubu 2027 campaigns.
Go close to them. Don't be lying. Yagaban 2027. Oh, but Mona come out, Mona see convoy. See convoy, show the convoy. Show the convoy. Where do I eat now? Show the convoy. Where do I eat for the government? Show the convoy, their father. Yagaban 2027, they go. We never finish. We never finish. Who be this? There, you come up my front there. Show the. It's on the look for contract. Abuja. It's on the look for contract. Abuja, Costa follow. Sialiba. Lekerebo. Zegera. 2027. Jagaban.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, abeg, Tinubu, abeg, I tell God they beg you, abeg. No come out again for 2027, abeg. The one where don't do us, don't do, abeg, Tinubu, abeg. Tinubu, I need that they beg you, abeg. APC, abeg, Muna no come again 2027, abeg. Nigerians will suffer with the hungry, abeg, Tinubu, abeg you, no come again. Abeg 2027, no one see your poster again. Tinubu, I beg you. If you get it wrong, don't do you, forgive us. Abeg, we don't get 2027. Tinubu, I take God beg you, APC. Abeg, hunger too much, insecurity too much, starvation too much, unemployment too much, your hardship is too much. Tinubu, abeg, oh, Tinubu, abeg, we don't need you again. 2027, na just 2 years we dey suffer like this. You can't do 8 years. Now be say a big power, hungry go kill us, oh, insecurity go finish us. Tinubu, abeg, make come 2027. I take God beg you, abeg. I dey beg Sheyi Tinubu, I dey beg Tinubu, I dey beg him wife. Abeg, una no come 2027. Abeg, thank you. God bless you. No come 2027. Yeah? Bye bye.
Ọdún mẹ́jọ, ó yẹ nínú ọdún mẹ́jọ.
one. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Only me to know. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Oluremi Tinubu. Now your mama believe so. Mama Nigeria, we know.
Now your mama be this yo here. That guy that's begging Tinubu not to come again. I beg you, I beg Tinubu, I beg Sheyi Tinubu, I beg his wife. If 2 years, man, no more we'll collapse to Richard. Like I scatter for chair here. When that guy said, I beg. Anything we will do, you forgive us. Okay, I beg. No, come again, okay? If you will do us this one for 2 years, if we do 8 years, now die with this. So please, Tinubu, I beg, forgive us. We're not going to try again. Richard. Because in real life, right, this is like a common thing that people say to themselves. Say, this is no good if you continue, may no continue again. They say, no gather, go beggar more. If we gather, go beggar, tell us, say, Papa, see, how much you want, Oyamo will give you. Leave us alone. People do have that kind of conversation, sure, you know. That is why we are now going to go to Rivers State. Okay. On my way to Rivers State, where their sole administrator has been violating the Nigerian Constitution, like again and again. And so we saw traffic for Djibouti. Take a look for traffic. They say somebody wanted to steal Agemo statue in Djibouti. Do you not understand me? Like, people are currently, when you hear some of the kind of crimes that people are being caught or engaging themselves in due to this economy, some of them you'll be like, what the heck? Say somebody stole somebody's generator, right? And the generator was still working. So people were inside, they just saw that the light tripped off, right? But because the person that stole the generator did not turn it off, he removed the plug and he carried the working generator like that until it disappeared. People have stolen a whole pot of soup. Imagine that, right? Have you ever seen anybody? Have you ever heard anything like people trying to steal a statue? A statue, cement, sand, and what's it? Rod, iron rod, cement, sand, and water. Somebody said that well, maybe they wanted to go and sell the iron bender. I said, which iron bender? Somebody won't go steal statue. Statue can't demolish them. The guy can't die next to the statue. On our way to Port Harcourt for Djibouti. Like, why would anybody steal a statue? So when I told my friend of that today, he was like, that doesn't make any sense. I said, okay, could it be that they just wanted to take the iron? Like, who does that? Like, which kind of crazy is this? Right? Like, I'm just going like this, right? I'm just going like, I was like, man, I will steal this statue. Like, tell yourself, I say, oh, man, I just feel like make I can't steal this statue, sha. Statue. Iyẹ̀pẹ̀ cement àti omi. you know, then he lost his life. It is similar to those who always go about to steal electricity cable. And you see somebody, they will say, the woman don't blow for transformer side. They say, wait till Apple. They say the guy wants steal cable. And you can see that they're like, you won't know if he's laughing or if he's shocked. You know, that kind of, because I've seen one before. Initially, I was just like, are you sure he's dead? They say he's dead. You know, when you smoke a goat, together now when you smoke the goat and you're like smoking the other, like that. That's it. So I've seen something like that, and I'm like, is he laughing or is he in shock? He said, well, depends on whatever you can make of it. Stealing electricity cable, you see transformer cable here. So go and sell it for how much? Now, which level of madness is this? Because this is not just greed. Veggie statue, Tonche gold statue. God damn it. Anyway, so then we went to Rivers, where the women protested a day ago, demanding for the return of Fuba, right? Because the sole administrator, he don't go crazy now. Okay, not go crazy. Like, he's been bringing the weakest men back into government. So when he made this announcement 2 days ago.
So I went about trying to identify a few individuals from which on 7th April 2025, I selected those seated here today as administrators of the 23 local government areas. I expect you all to recognize this moment in history and rise to the occasion as impartial leaders that will help me deliver on the mandate given to me by Mr. President to restore peace and stability and work towards returning all democratic institutions in the state. Your selection to this important office is not by chance, but a recognition of your capacity to lead, your commitment to service, and the trust reposed in you to bring governance closer to the people. As you assume office, be reminded that the local government is the closest tier of government to the people. It is the primary channel through which government touches the lives of citizens in their homes, in their communities, and in their daily realities. Therefore, you bear a sacred responsibility, a duty to ensure that the affairs of your respective councils are managed with the utmost care, respect, and unwavering dedication to the welfare of our people. The expectations of our citizens are high, and rightly so. They deserve leaders who are honest, selfless, and devoted to building a better future for all. Let me make it unequivocally clear here. This administration will not tolerate any form of recklessness, abuse of office, or misuse of public funds or trust. The resources allocated to our local governments must be used strictly for the purposes intended. There must be accountability and value for money in every project executed, every policy implemented, and every kobo spent. The people of Rivers State deserve to see how their money is being used, and it is your duty to ensure that they receive proper accounts and value. To this end, we will work out the necessary modalities to monitor and ensure full compliance with the principles of due process, transparency, and zero tolerance for financial recklessness across all local government areas. Let me assure you, this administration will not hesitate.
Just to save our time. So that was it. By the power reposed the name by the president, not by the people of Rivers State. You know, So Arnold CK, what's that guy's name? The guy's name is Arnold CK. I'll show you that soon, okay? So he's a very, very regular face. He's been given appointments now. Sole administrator for Rima or something like that. Rivers Waste Management. Anyway, it's been given. So some of the weakest boys have also been appointed. So what then happened was that, one second. Right. So what happened is that when the women protested yesterday, the sole administrator who just appointed local government administrators is also planning to conduct local government elections in Rivers State. So they took over the local government areas. You know, if you have been following, right? So the weakest men who got chased away by the Fubara's men when Fubara conducted local government area, right? So some of them are now back as administrators now. So in which many people who have raised concern that Tinubu is not neutral in all of this. It is just a way of, you know, giving the state back to Werewike, in which Fubara is guilty of in the court of Tinubu. So Werewike's guys are back in control for the women and their demand yesterday. I made a video, right? I made a video when the Fubara's boys, right, took over Obiakpo local government. You remember that Chinwo? I mean, what's that guy's name? Chinwo, Ehumbo or something, I don't know. Anyway, for Obiakpo local government. And then they removed Werewike's name from a building there, right? Now these guys are back, the Werewike's men. They started tearing down everything that has to do with Fubara from the same local government area. But I'll show you that. First, the women.
Call for the restoration of democratic leadership. We, the women of Rivers State, gathered under the banner of justice and democracy, express our deep concern and total rejection of the recent declaration of state of emergency in our beloved state. This imposition is not driven by any genuine threat to national security, but is clearly a politically motivated maneuver aimed at subjugating our people and undermining our constitutional democracy. The overreach of the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, is a glaring indicator of this political conquest. His actions, which go far beyond the limited powers of a placeholder, betray the impartiality expected of his office and reveal the real intention behind this emergency rule. A calculated power grab under the guise of national interest. We find it utterly confounding that the federal authorities in Abuja, relying on conjecture and manufactured narratives, would choose to descend with the full weight of force on Rivers State, deploying a sledgehammer to kill a fly, while ignoring the dire security emergencies ravaging other states like Borno, Yobe, Zamfara, Kaduna, Plateau, and Benue. In these states, terrorists have overrun entire communities, taking control of local governments and brutally murdered thousands of innocent citizens. Yet, no such declaration of emergency has been made. If the National Assembly intentions was truly to prevent a breakdown of law and order in Rivers State, a state that has remained relatively peaceful, and call for
the women. And it was just all like for nothing, unfortunately, because the guy seems to be, you know, like headstrong in fulfilling his mandate, and that mandate is the Tinubu's mandate, in what many believes that is a plot to make sure that Fubara never returns. How that is going to play out, we don't know. I have this couple of videos, which is like the before and after in this whole political imbroglio. That's a fancy word, imbroglio. I've learned about that since maybe I was like a 7 or 8, reading just this junk or random stuff, right? Imbroglio. Anyway, political imbroglio in River States before and after, here in one clip.
Really? President, I look at my car, no? Oh, when we don't go, I can say,
Somebody say something before you.
By the grace of God, I'm the chairman of the local government. And let me tell our people, Obiabo is a very sensitive local government. Yes. And no one man will come and tell our local government. And they they don't try to come, but let me advise them that they should be very, very careful. Finish with. Because we don't go sleep. And they hear me? Yes, we don't serve. 8 years for the state. Nobody worry out. I be not so. So, you know, concern everybody come from local government. And they hear me? Yes, sir. Yes, so we can with the important to come from local government. Anybody will try out. Anybody will get house. Yes, and they hear me? Yes, sir. Nobody will get house. Hold on, they get the investment with River State. When they see what will happen. And then they fear. When they come here. People they shoot God, people like Woski. They come for them. Yes. And they hear me? Yes. Between now and Wednesday, we'll catch them. That's all. I want to invite police for River State Police Command. And they hear me? Better than neutral. Better than neutral. For this local government to go protect and die. Bomb equal, but for the kids. They are ready for them. You don't be to shoot gun around, and to start where we put some bullets. And they hear me? This name. Yeah. Hold on. This man. This man. Yes. If you don't know what rest. So that note at the Chamber of Council. We don't rename him by the way we remove and call him Obi-Wan. Hey! Yes, sir. So we don't rename here. Obi-Wan house. How many? Obi-Wan. We'll talk about the people. We'll make them enjoy. This will come tomorrow morning. So everybody will get more. Make it come. I'm the camp.
This is major. Hey, horrible. So, as they bring the new one now. Give that man back. You collect this thing now. These are now what you carry me for. Tiara, come on, time.
And witness the
taking over of the local government, the leadership of local government area. I want to assure all of you that our function is to ensure that all of you are taken care of, to empower the youth and to ensure that all the things that are required to be done for the progress and development of the council. Like I said earlier, I need their cooperation. The leadership is not a one-man show. It has to do with cooperation and collaboration of the people. While we are on seat, whatever we have that needs to help us improve the development of the local government, we are ready to welcome from you. We will ensure that we maintain the security of the area in various communities. We are not going to look type of any community. We are going to kind of all the communities within the local government. Our function is a sole administrative function. But that notwithstanding, whatever that is needed to do.
It is still Rivers State of trouble. And again, like I say all the time, you have not heard the last from Rivers. As for Fubara, Seriake Dixon from Bayelsa visited him yesterday. Is the one who made us realize that he's still alive and, waiting for what's going to be his fate in another 5 months. Now, Fubara be that. In worry, as they talk, say, worry do they carry last, worry do they carry last. It seems that the Ishekiri people of Delta states feel so shortchanged in what one of these protesting group called delineation. Kind of like, you see, this is a system whereby people are categorized, categorized into a particular setup, because by that categorization comes some benefits. And if you are categorized wrongly, you won't get the benefits in this, in this arrangement. So this is Shekiri people believes that the system in Nigeria, which, like everyone else, right? Decisions are made. Decisions that have to do with lives of people, but they have no idea who is making this decision and where are they making this decision and for why. And those who are making the decisions themselves don't give a shit about the people they are making the decisions for. They just make those decisions and everybody should go and live by it. Now, not to sound like I'm speaking in parables, okay? You're going to hear this long watch where a young man described the level of discrimination, marginalization that they have suffered in how they have been, moved from one box to another box as decided or determined by some characters that he himself is not really sure of, right? So they have local government areas in Nigeria. They also have polling unit areas in Nigeria. Now, the local government areas always have within it, right? That's why you have the political wards, So then the political wards themselves also have units, which are also called wards, like Ward 4, Unit this, Ward under, So according to this guy, the Shekiri people, right, have been shortchanged in the scheme of things. They used to be this, now they are this. Or they used to be this, now they are this. While those who used to be like this size have been sort of like a, expanded, not by their size, but just by design. Now, I want you to listen to this every person, if you are not an insecurity, okay, and you are very familiar with the imbalance in how they draw their map in Nigeria, which makes you and I to belong to some certain, the artificially created states, right? And I think that is why you have to watch this, because you likely going to, probably going to be relatable. So we are currently over 2,000 of us on YouTube. And, thankful to those of you who have paid your offering, which is like the video, okay? So every super chat as well, I say thank you, okay? I'll come back, but please, if you haven't really liked the broadcast, let's take it to 1,000 or even 1,500, likes. We can do that if you take a moment, go and like the video, and then continue watching. Please watch this.
Behavior of INEC. And of course, even content of court of INEC and of the injustice meted on the Ishekiri people, not just Borodo people, the entire Ishekiri nation and Warri Kingdom. So we are protesting the oppression of INEC against our people. That's why we are here.
Tell us what the oppression is.
Good. First, if I have to start from Genesis, you will get a better picture of why we are here. From what INEC has just done, it has confirmed to us that major parastatals, government parastatal, has been fashioned against the Ishekiri people. Why do I say this? INEC just came up just now with word delineation against court order, which INEC even deposed to an affidavit to that they will not go on with the process because a court of competent jurisdiction has restrained them from going ahead with this delineation. But because they believe that the Ishekiris are lazy people, or Ishekiri people do not have dollar to spend or throw around, they can just do whatever they like. Now, how did it even start? I will start first with the National Boundary Commission. Some years back, we all know that we have 500-meter buffer distance between the coastal area and the deep offshore. And some few years ago, the National Boundary Commission unilaterally, unlawfully removed Ishekiri communities of Borodo, Dele, Batere, and so many of the community from this coastal environment where they are. We all know that when they are within this 500-meter buffer zone, they are going to benefit. They benefit from the deep sea offshore. Meanwhile, Oproza, that is more of a distance into the creek. Ogbudugudu in Warri North, that is almost in Edo State, was taken into deep sea offshore. And we were never, as in we, that is that because all these Ishekiri community, they are all at the estuaries of the Atlantic Ocean. But we were unilaterally removed by the National Boundary Commission. And this was done in the last administration of Governor, His Excellency Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, where we had Barrister Kingsley Otuaru as the deputy governor. And Barrister Kingsley Otuaru is an Ijaw. And we all know too that the responsibility of boundary adjustment and boundary at the state level rests on the office of the deputy governor. That was done. When we got wind of it, our leaders now moved to say, this cannot happen. You cannot take people that are 200 meters away from deep sea offshore and then take people that are 800, 1,000 meters away. Oproza is part of it. Kuruche is part of it. These people are far away. These communities are far away from the Atlantic Ocean. We are the estuaries. They did that. So when they did that, while people after we moved into that matter, we were able to arrest it. The process have not gone on. We had to petition to NUPROC. Where we are now, NUPROC has directed that the survey, they should go back to feed and go and redo the survey. Let us see people that are actually close and people that are far. Now that is from the NBC. Now, having done that, they now fed, because I told you before that the federal parastatals, we have seen closely that these are weapons that has been fashioned against the Shekiri nation. INEC came and said, some people went to court and said they got judgment for INEC to redelineate the Warri federal constituency. We all know that delineation is the right of INEC. It's part of their duty. We are not disputing that. But if you must do anything, you must work by the rules. And there are rules guiding all these processes. We went to court because we felt Warri cannot be treated in isolation. Warri is part of Nigeria. If you are doing delineation, let it be holistic, the entire Nigeria. And by the grace of God, delineation, national delineation is coming in no distant time. So why single out Warri? We went to court. INEC on their own, when we presented our facts to them, they deposed to an affidavit that they will not go ahead with the process. And we now went out to say, okay, all has been laid to rest. Without us knowing that there are some people that were doing their own underground work, and at the end of the day, a lot of dollars has changed hands. And before we knew it, INEC came and said they have made some proposals for the delineation. Shekiri being peaceful people, ordinarily would have said, let us do it. When we went for the meeting, only for us to go to attend that meeting. In that meeting, they came with the proposal. Warri North, as Shekiri and Ijos, we are the owners of that, we are the two owners of that local government. In Warri North, the Shekiris had 6 wards, the Ijos had 4 wards. Today, the proposal that INEC has brought is that the Ijo ward of 4 has metamorphosed into 10. And the Shekiri 6 has only graduated from 6 to 8. Meanwhile, we have the numbers, we have the communities, we have the voting strength and everything. The register, the INEC register speaks volume of what I've just said. Now, coming to Warri South. Warri South is being co-owned, the local government, between the Yorubas and the Shekiris. Today, they came up in the original arrangement outside that their 12 illegal 12-ward arrangement that they are doing. It used to be Shekiri has 8 wards and 2 wards to the Yorubas. Now today, INEC came up to tell us that now they are rearranged it. The Shekiris now have 8 wards, Yorubas now have 9 wards, and then the Ijos that have never, from time immemorial, that has never been part of Warri South, now have 3 local governments. 3 wards, sorry. Now, the question here, let me just give you a background. If you know Warri very well, there is one place we call Mila. Mila is not an Ijo name. There is a place called Makaiva. Makaiva is not an Ijo name. There is a place, Door Market, where they normally call Main Market now. All these are not Ijo name. These are the places where INEC created 3 wards for the Ijos. It will even surprise you to know that where our own monarch lives is under Ijo ward. How is that possible? Now, to make matters worse, between that Miller and Makaiva, they created 3 wards there. 3 wards for people that were never part of that place before. How do you reconcile that? Now, let us come to our own local government, Warri Southwest, where we are now today. We used to have, in fact, I still believe we have 6 wards. The Ijos has 4 wards. Today, as we speak, what INEC has now proposed to us now is that our 6 wards has been depleted to 5. Then the Ijos that used to have 4, they now have 14. They now have 14. I'm sure you are surprised because I don't know the indices with which INEC did what they did. Is INEC trying to tell us that the Shekiris were not reproducing and the ones that were existing, they are all dying? That is why the 6 we had has gone down to 5. Meanwhile, our Ijo neighbors has been reproducing triple. So that is why they were able to move from 4 to 14. So we are saying that this injustice cannot stand. We will not accept it. And until government answers us and tell us and do what first, let's not get it twisted. The Shekiri people are peace-loving people, and we are not against delineation. But whatever you want to do, you must play by the rules. Dollars does not create words. It is the population and the voting strength of a place that creates wards.
So what do you want?
Are you sure? From 6 wards down to 5, while others got theirs from 4 wards to 14. Miracle no dey tire Jesus.
I never know you will honor me this way. You honor me this way. Thank you. What shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you, Lord.
A very corrupt system. We laugh when all these exposés are made. We laugh, we joke about them because, you know, like they say in Yoruba land, once a situation is beyond crying, teary, you are likely just going to have to laugh it. So, well, there's nothing I can do anymore. I just laugh it. I've cried, or it's pretty much like one step crying. Well, so Pastor Irreparable of Redeem, we just came out now to advise Nigerians to pray for the contraption and your criminal leaders to succeed. Charade disagrees. To him, right? Apart from milking the sheepies, lying to them about what they are going to get rewarded for in heaven. In this earth, you are obnobbing, right, with the same career criminals responsible for the economy downturn and what have you. So the deceit, right, is what Charade said he disagrees with. He was meeting with some group of people this weekend where he addressed them like this. Africa Wahala, maybe somebody there can help me interpret the Yoruba part to English, just for the non-Yoruba speakers, but he did speak in English too, right? Sure.
It's a disagreement I've always had with Christians, that this world is not meant for us. It is not true. The world is meant for us. When God was creating the earth and the heavens, He created heaven and earth and put us here. He didn't want us not to enjoy our life or live well on earth. He wanted us to live here because He created everything we need. But for some reason, our Christian brothers and religious people always say, oh, go to heaven, go to heaven. No. God Himself, as I have said, doesn't live in heaven. And I will explain why before you get upset with me. When God was creating heaven and earth, He was staying somewhere. That was where He came to create heaven and earth from. But when He created the earth, He said, this is the most beautiful thing I have done. That is why He created us, created plants, He created animals. And we're not the only people on earth. There are so many creatures on earth, some of them you have never seen or heard from. The reason I'm saying that is that, please, don't let anybody drive you out of this world with the lie that you are going to another place. Live the best you can here on earth. Don't let the government deprive you of life on earth. Because as you know, people in government don't like to die. Even the pastors who tell you that there's heaven, pastors don't like to die. Imams don't like to die. They want to enjoy this earth to the fullest. And I want all of you to enjoy this world to the fullest. Reach the age that you deserve. Don't let anybody send you into what they call Orun Apapandodo. Ẹgbẹ́ ìgbésí ayé yín bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fẹ́. Kí inú yín bá lè dùn àti ti àwọn ọmọ yín. Torí ìdí tí mo ṣe ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé mo ti dá sí Yorùbá ń sìn o. Ìjọba wọ́n máa ń lo ẹ̀sìn láti máa pa irọ́ fún wa pé ọ̀run wà níbì kan. Ayé tí a wà yìí ìta bá máa kúrò nú ẹ̀. Wọ́n ṣe ara tí a fi wà nú ayé la máa fi lọ sọ́run. Eléyìí ó láti kọ́kọ́ parẹ́ pátápátá á di iyẹ̀pẹ̀. Mi wàá mọ ohun tó fẹ́ lọ sọ́run ẹ má bí mi ní ẹ̀mí ò kì í ṣe pásítọ̀. Àmọ́ ìgbé ayé tí ẹ wà yìí ẹ gbé kéjẹ́ ìtẹ́lọ́rùn fún yín. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀lú kan fi ebi kan fi lé yín kúrò láyé. Wọ́n fi àrùn kan fi lé yín kúrò láyé. Àìríjẹ, àìrímu, àìríná, àìrílò ẹ má jẹ́ kan fi lé yín kúrò láyé. Ìdí ẹ̀ ni àwa ṣe ń ṣe iṣẹ́ òṣèlú tí ó ṣe yàtọ̀ sí iṣẹ́ ọ̀jẹ̀lú tí àwọn politician tí wọ́n máa ń ṣe ní ọ̀dọ̀ wọn. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo ń sọ yìí mo ń sọ nítorí a lè má ní àyè ní ìgbà mìíràn láti ríra wa. For those of you who don't speak Yoruba, we may not have another time to see ourselves, but live your life to the fullest. Don't let the Nigerian government drive you to a heaven that is hell. And I have said it, and I'll say it for the last time. God cannot send Nigerians to hell. We are already living in hell. It will be double tragedy to live in hell in Nigeria and to go to another hell. And I know God is kind. He will never do that. Good evening.
That's sure there. The pastors, the imams are telling you about heaven and allegation. But most of them are not interested in going. When you talk about insecurity, they improve their own security sort of apparatus. They hire more guns to protect them. They buy expensive bulletproof vehicles to protect them. But they will tell you, right, that your own reward is in heaven. So what I was telling people there that government works with these criminals to tell you all of this. All right? Nigeria is already hell on earth. So don't let anybody lie to you that you are going to go and enjoy in heaven. Right? So once they want to calm you down, give you false hope, as they are hobnobbing with the same criminals who are destroying your sort of lives, right? And livelihoods. They will tell you to pray. And then they will tell you to look forward to having the best life in heaven in their sky daddy. Here you get. But they themselves are not interested in going to that heaven. None of them is interested anytime soon. And you know, you don't go to heaven except you die. Yeah, you have to die first before you can go to heaven. And they don't want to die. They're supposed to be those ones who call themselves the God of men and the men of dogs, right? They are supposed to be interested in going to that heaven where people don't die, people don't fall sick, people don't, you know, like, and to those who are going to Alijono to go and meet their 72 virgins and the rest of that, where they said that you are going to have the strength of a horse. Have you ever seen the horse dig before? Horse dig can be as long as this my arm. If you are not a pervert, all right, defending criminal governments when you are alive, and then expecting to go to one Alijono, right, where you are going to have the strength of a horse. So if you are not a pervert, right, why would you want the strength of the size of a horse for your fellow human being, for another person's daughter, for heaven? So it is all perverted thoughts put together by perverts hiding behind their religion. And at the end of the day, their successors, right, they have become willing tools, right? The tool of suppression, the tool of fear in the hands of the criminal government. And you have to open your eyes before you can see it. Because some of them will tell you that, I haven't raised, so, I haven't raised, they pursue like this, so, say heaven race, because your pastor said that, right? Anyway, good luck. to those who wants to be consciously aware and never to make themselves the sanctuary for the deceivers who are recruiting idiots that they can use a religion to hoodwink. Yeah, that's another fancy word I learned a very long time ago. Hoodwink, Imbroglio. There are many though, right? But I've been using them like passively all these years. But once in a while, I'm like, how did they come like that? Hoodwink. Anyway, forgive me, okay? So going forward, Sha, that was a show right there reaching out. So the Labour Party people, if you are on this platform, right, it's quite interesting, though, that as it seems that you are coming out of one crisis, you are jumping into another one. It's interesting, okay, I would say, even though it's sad for some people who believes that they can still use election to get rid of Tinubu and any stabilize or any stable political party between now and 2027. Some believe that is going to be very much like effective in getting rid of Tinubu. But the more it seems that it's coming to an end, the more it is far from an end. Because just last week we saw Lamidiot Apampas resurfaced, right? Even though the Supreme Court says Abure's time was over, Abure is still parading himself as the chairman of Labour Party. So Peter Obi and his own guys, they are with Nnamdi Usman, which they expect to conduct a party congress that would then usher in the substantive party executive, right? So they've met with the INEC guys, okay, to recognize Nnamdi Esther, be to be her name, Usman, okay, that lady. And Pampas just surfaced, boom, with his own team and said he's the most senior and he would have to take over. Well, he didn't say I would have to do. He said, I have taken over. The Labour Party as their chairman makes it two chairmen again. What about the one removed by the court? He insists that he is not removed. And just this afternoon, his own boys were singing for him.
On your mind, okay,
They almost sang on your mandate. It's just like, oh, no, don't do that. We don't want to do that one. People already saying that, Abure is now being sponsored by the Tinubu to continue to disrupt the Labour Party's peace moves. So don't sing on your mandate, okay? So, okay. Yeah, that's fine then. We won't sing that. Anyway, somebody will say it depends on where you stand. Some will tell you that if you look at it from here, and then Nnamdi Usman be the chairman of Labour Party, acting. But if you look at from this side, Lamidiot Apampas be their chairman. But if you can't look at from this side, if I say Abure be still the chairman, so we'll figure that out later. It is like that joke of Muson Center in Nigeria between a drunk and a police officer. So this drunk guy was coming in the middle of the night, right, and met a police officer at a junction. So the police officer was like, you are drunk. And he was like, no, I'm not drunk. So then it was like, what would you call what is up there? During the day, we call it the sun, Abi. At night, we call it the moon, yeah? Okay. So the guy came, the guy was like, if you look at it from this side, it is moon. When you look at it from this side, it is sun. Now, when you look at it from the center, it is moon, sun, center. And it's quite a joke, right? That's exactly the way I now see the trinity of Labour Party, okay? When you have how many chairmen do they have, right? You say Usman from this side, Apampas from this side, maybe Abude from this side. I know. An obedient won't like me for that. Say, well, are you trying to make a joke? It's not even funny. It's not even funny. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to say? We are saying that, we should try and get rid of Tinubu. And we are now trying to get there. You are trying to make a dry joke. You, this Tinubu. I say, I know. It's not funny. It's just what came to my head. Sometimes you have things that will be like, it was just kind of like a song, right? It'll keep repeating itself in your head, like replaying itself. And you're just like, I don't know what, right? This music keeps replaying itself. So when I checked on this Abure's own, I was like, oh, this is a trial, right? Or Trinity. What do you call it? So it's not meant to be funny. Okay? So don't laugh. Or if you didn't laugh, fine. Meanwhile, in Lagos, right? One thing, again, like I've always, postulate is that I give credit to those who are doing their bits, right? So probably just like trying to normalize the abnormalities in the society, okay? Also, even though this kind of like a footage also shows us the mega city called Lagos. Alhaji Wahab, your mega city is a Leko Wahabun trial, right? Here is a trip to a part of Lagos Island where they are trying to clear, the usual, all right? Let's go to the mega city. I'll come back soon. Come on.
Open up, police. So because I the main one will still go straight.
My name is Truthful. The Honorable Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources in Lagos State.
All right, you've been to different places in Lagos Island. Talk to us on what you've seen and what are your findings and what you intend to do.
Okay, thank you. To start with, what we have done this morning just to take a tour of what we are doing on Lagos Island. This should be like our 6th time or thereabout. We've been here with the governor twice. And on our own as a ministry, we've been here like 4 times with the Ministry of Infrastructure and Works. Thankfully, the governor had awarded the regeneration of Lagos Island. So as a state, we are giving out the job to regenerate the whole of Lagos Island. Of urban planning, drainage, and then road infrastructure. And this morning, we came to see what Julius Berger, Minister of Environment and Water Resources, and then what Lasura have been up to in the past few months. And we are glad at the pace of work that has been done. They are taking a new position. They are raising the road height of the road, as well as that of the drainage. And you've seen the quality of what is being done there. And then we're also pumping out the water. We have to dam in some areas and then pump out the water to allow them to walk in other areas. So that caused a bit of inconvenience for islanders, and we apologize, and we are still apologizing. You see, you can't make the egg without breaking the. You can't make the omelette without breaking the egg. So the inconvenience is temporary for us to give a permanent solution to what has become a disturbing phenomenon on Lagos Island for a while. So from there, we also took a walk to see how we've been able to do the enforcement around the Ojaoba Adeniji under bridge. And then we came here now to see what they are doing. to help us discharge the storm water into the lagoon.
So how soon will the Lagos residents, like Lagos Islanders, rather feel the plight of this?
Months, but it should be in phases. Between 9, 15, 18, and 24 months.
So in effect, 2 years?
Yes, maximum.
Okay, so but we understand that some areas, we've seen a lot of, how I put it now, disposal waste, indiscriminate waste disposal in certain areas. So what is the ministry doing to address these concerns? Because already some markets, I understand, have been shut, Mile 12 and K2, and yet we still see waste in those areas. So talk to us about that.
That is also a very painful one. But I have said severally, advocacy will continue. Loma is doing so much more. Loma is also intervening where the PSP operators are challenged. So that's an ongoing narrative with us. And you saw the Loma truck this morning wading in and packing those waste. So we just want to beg our citizens and appeal to them. There's no need for you to put your waste on the road or by the median of the road or throw them into the drainage system. It's a recipe for crisis beyond flooding, health challenges, and other things. So, but on our part, we keep doing the advocacy, and then we also not just dangle the carrots. We can also enforce and sanction people that are not ready to comply and just outrightly incorrigible. So that's what we're doing. And for those markets, they've been served severally, and there is no need to keep dangling the carrot when people are just recalcitrant, and you have a law you can enforce. So we had enforced. People that intervene, I would say, let them do the right thing. Clean up the market. That is the first point of contact for most people. So, and once that is done, we unseal them. We've unsealed the perishable markets because they worked overnight, and we saw the level of compliance, and we unsealed like 1 hour ago.
Which market, sir?
The perishable goods, market, the perishable, yeah.
Okay, sorry, one more question about the recently federal
government. And did you see that black water? That dark, stinking water in the middle of the road? Like people have abandoned the road. They are just walking by the side of the road, right? In Lagos Island. And there are many like that. More than 80% of roads in Lagos are unmotorable. And that is me being generous. 80% of roads in Lagos, not in good conditions. But they will tell you that, you know, some of them are federal roads and there's little to next to nothing they can do, you know, to fix them. In some cases, they will tell you that the federal government won't pay them back. That's why they can't fix the federal road. But in Nigeria, there is no federal people. I'll be state people. I'll be local government people. All of you exist in this space. And the government that was supposed to work for you are divided. And they are now like, oh, they are the ones who didn't do the federal road. Oh, they are the ones who didn't do the state road. Oh, sorry, we didn't do the local government road. So nobody does any road. So they just tell you that it is not their fault that you have no real or good road, right? It's a shame. Now, I want to take you back to Bulaba quickly before we call it a night. Dani Bulaba has gone on the TV to defend the Tinubu over this US court order. Normally, they are panicky, but I have done so much explanation on this from the start that except when the news just comes out like this and people are reacting to it, and then within a week it's gone, or after a few days it's gone. This may be different, right? Because if tomorrow they start releasing all of these documents, we're going to see the ones we've seen before. That is not the one we are expecting. So we're going to see the ones we've never seen before as well. That is what we cannot predict. So Bulaba Dani, he went on TV to go and tell those Nigerians that there's nothing new from the order. There's nothing new from what they asked to be released. And I understand he's paid to say this.
Thank you for having me. Your very good brother and friend, Senator Alain Dume, came after you. I'm wondering what exactly, maybe both of you, if you trace it, perhaps maybe you have some blood. Begin with your senior brother, because you are just 50, he's 67. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Your very good brother and friend, Senator Alindume, came after you. I'm wondering what exactly, maybe both of you, if you trace it, perhaps maybe you have some blood relation. And no, you're from the same senatorial district, and your local government isn't too far from
his own local government.
Yes. So, and I'm wondering what exactly the issues. But before we get into that, the reaction, and I know that the presidency has reacted to this issue. The court order was on Tuesday, relating to the records of the President Tinubu when he was in the U.S. in Chicago, and there are a lot of issues relating to the FOI probe. I mean, the investigation that those records should be released. If this happened, the court has granted these agencies and instructed them to do so. Don't you think it's going to have some implication on the reputation of Nigeria's #1 citizen?
There's actually no issue in this thing. It is the opposition and probably members of, the way the media interpreted it. If you read the judgment, what the court said was, first of all, the court even dismissed the idea of joining CIA and said that CIA didn't have any file, didn't have any issue for which it should be joined in the first place. With respect to the FBI and DEA, the court said that in case, because already documents have been released for long, he says, in case you think from the exempt there are documents that are yet to be released, come on the 2nd of May and talk to us so we can determine whether or not they are valid application before the court. So there is nothing actually in what was published, the ruling of the court, that is new. Everything has been in public domain for ages. But the opposition will want to feast on it because in the absence of better idea, that is the only thing they can cling on to, in the hope that they will probably misinterpret the public. Nothing at all, nothing new.
And you know what the optics are? And these are relating to President's record of how he had money, because the inference were that there were drug dealings which related to wealth and some monies, and how a certain amount of money was confiscated. These have heavy implication on the reputation, on the optics.
Like I told you, it's a non-issue. The court said, if you have any information that you think should be released, come on the 2nd of May. So let's wait for the 2nd of May, because there is actually nothing that they are seeking for which has not been released. And it's a non-issue. I mean, it is intended to create unnecessary conversation as if there is an issue on the table. Nothing at all. So we don't want to even
the reason
give
why
them
I'm
the
asking the issue of optics, and because he's #1 citizen, and in any case, whatever that is done outside of this crime, the president has immunity. For criminal prosecution and all that. But the fact remains that this is #1 citizen. It carries the nation, the identity of this country. He's supposed to be the #1 marketer of this country. If there are records from the United States connoting or inferring issues of drug dealing, issues of underhand dealings, monies through drugs, don't you think it's going to damage the image of the country? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah,
you're an image maker.
Yes, but it is fictitious, right? We deal with facts before the court, and we deal with substance. As of today, the substance of the matter is that the court dismissed the application to join CIA and say, with respect to the FBI, records have been released before, which you know. But if you think there is any other one that has not been released, come on the 2nd of May. And I can guarantee you can write it and then report it on that day. The court will come to a finding that there is nothing new. Everything has been released. It's not even a subject of conversation. I'm just being honest.
What about
with you,
the things? What about the ones that have been released? The issues that have been debated, which caused a lot of campaign matter.
It was litigated, and the Nigerian people, after listening to everything, voted for him. Thank you for having me.
That's how they run it. Once it goes on and trivialize it, downplay it, there are other people who are going to scoop from that to go say the same thing. Or it's just fake news. There's nothing new they want to. What is it that they want to release again? They said this is a drug dealer. They said this or that, and so you get. But on the other hand, as well, they are hoping there will be. I don't think they are. I'm just kind of imagining that, right? But they don't look bothered. But they don't look unbothered too, right? Here is his response to Ndume. They called him MAGA dog, right? Magadogo. His response.
Begin with your senior brother, because you are just 50, he is 67.
Yeah, he's a villainous exploiter.
Why do you call him that kind of name?
Because that better describes who he is. But let me give you a perspective. Alindume and I have been wonderful in the sense that through his struggles, when Saraki was dealing with him, Alindume came for me for help. And I played my part supporting him because he's a senator from my district. Much later, when he wanted to become Senate president, Alindume sent somebody ahead of his coming to speak to me. Honorable Kumalia is alive. That he wants to come and see me. He wants my support for his emergence as a Senate president. I said, no problem. He came to my chambers and sat for 2 hours waiting for me. And that's how the relationship with. There is no record anywhere I've ever had problem with Alindume until 10th of January 2014 when I met with Mr. President. Everything changed. He started going about telling people like that they want to replace him with me in Southern Borno because he couldn't get access to see the president. He will go to the TV house, he will go to this one, he will speak about me, whole meetings and the rest. Now, this is a senator whom has been a lawmaker for the past 22 years. 4 years as a House of Rep member, 16 years or thereabout as a senator. 120,000 of his people are in Cameroon as IDPs. During this period, Alindume has served as a majority leader and also Senate Chair, Committee on Defense and Army. He has never done anything to bring his people back from Cameroon. This is a senator, if you want, I can give you the monies that have come to Southern Borno in form of a project. There is no single project in the Southern Borno. This is a senator who knows his primary assignment is lawmaking and oversight. He has never had a bill passed. He has never. 90% of his bill, 90% of his bill, they don't even get to reach second reading. They will be dismissed, not to talk of bringing it for debate. He goes about parading that says the bill that brought about the Northeast Development Commission, he was one that sponsored, and it's a lie. It is Senator Yako. This is a senator, if you go to Southern Borno, there is not a single thing he has done. I mean single in the literal sense, not even.
Would that be fair for all the years that he has been in National Assembly?
That's what I'm telling you.
We've seen him tour that senatorial district.
Let me even tell you.
Reaching out to the people.
Reaching out, doing what? Look at all that has come to his constituency.
The pictures there.
Okay, look at. So is that going to visit people there? Is that a project? Monies have gone to that place in form of a project. I can forward them to you. Not a single one. Even the borehole he said he opened, the boreholes are dried. This is a senator who's stuck in trade. Is to cause strife and division. So this is what he does. Anytime he's going to be called upon to account for his time in the National Assembly, he will look for a national issue and distract by trying to portray himself as a populist, as somebody who is an advocate for the people who are going through trouble. Have you ever seen Alindume in any protest? Have you ever seen Alindume participated in any activity that suggests he cares for the young people? That's why I say it's a villainous exploiter. Look at that definition. Wicked manipulator. That's what it means. And look at National Assembly, for example. For all of this period he has been in the National Assembly, he has not contributed anything. He has served in positions that he had the capacity and opportunity to do good. He has always been a nuisance to any Senate, whether 9th Senate, 10th Senate, 11th Senate, whatever it is, he has been a nuisance. He was the Director General for Senator Akpabio. Few weeks after Akpabio emerged, he wanted something he didn't get. He became a persona non grata in the National Assembly. This Senator Natasha, she's not up to 2 years. But what she has done in her constituency is more than what Ndume has done for 22 years. But I challenge him to come and tell you what he has done.
Mr. Buhari.
Epos. There is God, there is God. Wrapping it up, the same Bulaba Dahani said that, you see, social media is one strange place. According to him, he is referring to the critic, or even his own critic online. And he said, you know, it may surprise you that somebody will say something on Twitter, right? If you find out and try to go and look for this person, you find out that they have mental health problem. The way he put it, listen.
The president said he's going to be away for 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear about the social media conversation around whether he's receiving the medical treatment in France?
This, you know, the phone, was he stretched?
Did you see it?
No. There is, see, the social media is a presence. Sometimes in social media, somebody will be tweeting. You don't even know who the person is. It can be somebody having mental health somewhere. But you just see that information is on the media.
So there's no iota of truth.
There has never been, and there is no trip the president makes.
The president's trips to France is not related to medical.
Have you not seen him receiving
I'm asking,
people
no,
in the US? I mean, there have been information about him receiving.
Is it yes or no? You could go see a doctor.
The president did not go to see a doctor. He was on a working visit, and we have been publishing his activities.
All right, let's get to our link.
And of course, one of Tinubu's one of his ministers told newsmen that they have done what nobody has ever done in 2 years. And he is right. The level of shege, the level of looting, the level of indebtedness, and of course, the increase and increasing level of insecurity, they are enough to tell you that they've done what no other government has ever done.
We have done what no administration has done in 2 years.
Absolutely.
None. And go out to the field and
You get that now? That they've done what no administration has done in 2 years. And this is just the beginning.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. But we can remind them, at least, to let you breathe.
Let be poor, breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
And on that note, we are going to come to the end of, or we have come to the end of the broadcast this evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Tomorrow we continue the series on this bigotry, tribalism, and the politically sponsored hateful rhetorics out there. So you can join me if you hope for it. So it starts from 2 p.m. UK time or Niger time, and I think that is 8 a.m. in the US. Do the rest. Thanks so much for spending your evening with me, and indeed I did miss you, by the way. So I'll see you tomorrow. You should join me. Then there will be an open line when you can phone in. Hopefully the line will be better off then. Well, thank you so much for this evening. My super chatters, my sharers, my commenters, the likers, and all of you, including the Ronukus that sticks to us, stick with us for these 3 hours. Let everybody shall know, say, if the misgovernance in Nigeria, right, doesn't really make any sense to you, it's because you're not paying attention. Everyone is a victim of a sort of like a failed system and a failed government and a failed country. We are all victims. But we have those who love to live in denial, right? Like they don't want to admit. But maybe when we all kind of understand what this means, right? The consequences of all of this, maybe, just maybe, we'll be more interested in preventing or ending this madness. Now, until that time, right, I would continue to preach and I will continue to call your attention to what is going on around you. Maybe you can begin to have an idea how this affects you directly and indirectly. So until I see you again, right, stay safe and never stop watching my video. So subscribe to my channel now, right, if you haven't. Come on, go on. Come on. Yeah, subscribe to this channel. And when I come the next time, you won't miss anything. Good night.
Ayégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégún dáyàrí ayégún nàmbà wá. Ayégún làwa mọ̀ lámọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Ayégun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Ayégun diary political.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Ayégun diary náà ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni. mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ́ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bóyá àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyé ń ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Allow the children it's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. She off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Máyégún don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Máyégún politico, Máyégún don come, this one not the off in mind. Máyégún don come, and in the torchlight every corner. Máyégún don come, okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Máyégún don come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Máyégún diary politico, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Máyégún, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Máyégún diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Máyégún don come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Máyégún don come, oh yo yo. Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún diary, Máyégún number one.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún diary, Máyégún number one.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún diary, Máyégún number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Máyégún diary, Máyégún number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún diary, Máyégún number one.
Àṣírí ọjà òjèlú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún dáyàrí political.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún dáyàrí Máyégún nọ́mbà wán.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. Thank you very much for joining me, brethren, and welcome to the Temple of Truth tonight. So as you are tuning in, remember to read beyond just the caption of the broadcast. Please take your time and read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it. It's right there under the video. Again, also share it. So invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends to join us and tell them that Máyégún today, Máyégún is live. On Máyégún's diary political, which in itself is a storytelling platform for two purposes. The first one, by the name diary, political diary or political. We'll be able to keep adequate record of the political opponents inside that contraption for the sake of educating and enlightening the younger upcoming generations, in which we tell it as it is, share it as it is, and also we mention the names of those who are responsible for every action or inaction at one time or another, and nobody can change that narrative or change the history or whitewash these criminals like they did to those of our own time when we were growing up. Nigeria, which is a pure lie to start with, we're fed with so many lies that many of us, when we found out later, it became so irritating and annoying. And annoying in the sense that how did they manage this disjointed contraption this long? How did they keep it together this long? So our own children and our children's children, they will be able to know what really happened, who were those responsible for this failed contraption. Yeah. That is the first purpose. The second purpose is to teach those of us who are alive now, because before we die, we just have to try and live first. Something that has become so almost impossible under these criminals. Many people are just existing as we speak. They are not living. So for them, it is ideal to always kind of like, by sharing all what is going on, to keep their subconsciousness and consciousness are working all the time. And hopefully they can act, we can act to change the course of our own destiny, in which these guys are mortgaging. Mayegun's diary political. So we do this by storytelling. Storytelling in the sense that you can sit down there, even if you don't like politics. I can make you have interest because you can understand it better, including the intrigues, the intricacies, the lies, the gaslighting, the blackmails, the propagandas and all that. On Mayegun's diary political, we help not just to document for the future purpose and purposes, but we also help to educate those who are here now, including those of you who are praying, right, for this Nigeria, or should I say, those of you who are praying for the criminals to succeed. On this platform, or through this platform, you can possibly get to realize that you are just, wishing yourself something not good, okay? Asking these criminals to succeed or praying for these criminals to succeed. You may be self-destructive in that manner. So finally, we know that failed system and the criminal politicians, they are not just existing in isolation. There are enablers. These are the categories of Nigerians who have bought into the lies. They are living the lie, and somehow, right, they are making it difficult for those who are seeing the light, or those who have seen the light, and those who are seeing the light, to really push these rogues down the cliff without them taking all of us. Unfortunately, the enablers are also watching this broadcast. Those who are helping them to spread divisive rhetorics, right? Rhetorics like the tribal division, ethnic division, religious supremacy, and all other vices that you can think of, which have all kept this enterprise, this Nigeria business going. And it became soldier go, soldier come, barrack no move, but the entire space is filled with the body of their victims, the victims of their policies. So it became a turn-by-turn Nigeria limited, unfortunately. And that is what gave birth the rotten system, the rotten establishment, compromised institutions run by compromised, people with questionable characters, openly career criminals in charge of governance, lawmaking. Lawbreakers are making laws for everybody to obey. And it is also in this reality we've also established that one Nigeria is fraud, and that we are one Nigerians is also a lie. A system of fraud sustained this long, giving birth to rogues to take charge, including a former. I will use former because there is no recent evidence of his involvement in narcotic dealings. This compromised system and a failed country, right, has now produced the worst kind of humans, the worst of the worst kind of humans or couple, right, which is the bats and rats, okay, to ever occupy the highest position in the land of Nigeria. Tinubu, ladies and gentlemen, the most controversial human being ever. It was never like this. The case of Tinubu, right, especially to those of you who are Gen Z, especially you Gen Z, okay? The story of Tinubu, right, is like the story of Bokuwari, okay? When Bokuwari was the military head of state, the first and the only person to have ever democratically removed, to have removed the democratically elected government in Nigeria by replacing them with himself, Bokuwari, right? During Bokuwari's time, Nigeria faced hell. Your parents faced hell. But guess what? There were those who loved it. People were queuing. The economy was so bad, right, that people were queuing to buy washing powder, to buy sugar, but the highlight of what this is, lovers at the time, how to tell those of this who fell into their second trap in 2015 was that there was discipline. You know, Nigeria needed this discipline. Nigerians were indisciplined people. They don't have this or that. Anyway, the economy tanked. Bokuwari ruined everything, right? Jobs were lost, businesses were shut, and they were also shouting corruption, 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 like people were corrupt, this and that. Anyway, cut the long story short, Charade, it ended up as the one of the most corrupt governments of that time. But the successive ones were like was, okay, Babangida shut him out. Abacha also came, well, Shonekon in between. Abacha came, Abdusalam came, as well as Obakparo and others like that. And then they kind of like prove to you that sometimes when you are counting millions being stolen, when we are still saying millions were being stolen, right, and we're being alarmed, we didn't know that billions will become nothing, that people will begin to steal trillions. And maybe I was asking the other day that after trillion, what exactly is going to be the next one that we are, the number, the figure that we have to like target, because it seems that they've reached the highest or the ceiling of looting, or you probably will see them today and say, I have seen the highest looters ever. Anyway, the story of Tinubu is the same, right? It is also the story of the government of Tinubu, right? It was a government of, more noise, as well as more looting and almost nothing to really show for it, right? But again, like Bokuwari, they were pushing the noise of, he increased the IGR of Lagos. He had a Lagos master plan and every other thing like that. Okay. So the story of Tinubu is not just about public looting. It's dated back to like 1980s. So David Undeyin, they are nemesis, right? David Undeyin and another guy called Alan Greenspan, right? So they launched a probe. Mind you, before, this was in 2022, right? They launched an FOI Act, Freedom of Information Act, okay, so FOIA request in America. Prior to this time, right, people knew there were those, right, in 1999, 2000, 2001, that witnessed the legal battle between late Dele, I said Dele Farotin. Sorry about that, Gani Fawahimi, right? So late Gani Fawahimi, who was hell-bent, okay, in jailing Tinubu. You see what you are witnessing today during that time of the presidential tribunal trial, and people were coming up with different stories. That was exactly what they did, to the point that they started threatening, Gani Fawahimi. People will gather in court to boo Gani Fawahimi. They will be paid. People will attack him physically because of this Tinubu that he is exposing Tinubu's drug dealing, right? So it's been like in the news. It's always been there. But somehow, right, the rotten system in Nigeria continued to shield him. But David Undeyin, right, in 2022, via his associates in America, Alan Greenspan, decided to make an FOIA request. So that FYA request were on Tinubu said drug dealing, heroin trafficking. Do you get that now? However, they now discovered that heroin trafficking, the $460,000. That if they open the file of Tinubu, it's not these drug things that majority of you are already aware, because some of you are pretty much like, oh, it no matter anymore, Jare, whatever they want to release, maybe they release waiting they won't release again. Waiting. Okay, everybody knows say in the drug dealer, in wife the drug dealer, they open accounts, they run accounts for heroin traffickers in Chicago. Here you get like, okay, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has already kind of like gave the green lights. Here you get like, okay, what is that you want to say now that is new? But David and Alan said, it is not just about heroin in Chicago. There were other states too. That you see this Tinubu that you are seeing. If you have watched the El Capone, I've been waiting the caller for inside the Godfather. For those of you who have watched that movie, The Godfather, right? That Tinubu is like in that category. You get that now? Like they have this network. It's like having this network of drug dealers all over the world that even the MI6 in the UK, they have his data as well, his record. Like, it was like that's kind of like a massive thing. And it is not just that, not just drug. They are also into so many other things that Tinubu said, if this record is made public, it will cause an irreparable damage. And he did fight, because that's where we're like, okay, hang on. It seems that there is nothing worse or whatever it is you want to say about Tinubu, expose about Tinubu. Nigeria is in the worst place right now. Nobody will do anything. Although, as Nigerians are people who suffer from Stockholm syndrome, you understand? And those who also love their criminals differently. So they are already divided on that. However, the outside world who know this Pablo Escobar, sensible people with their genuine money, not loans or genuine money, they are avoiding Nigeria. And this is a fact. Propaganda can't really run a country if you are running at different direction. Your propaganda is running to the right. Your government policies and decisions are running to the left, in contrast to to each other. So at the end of the day, what you have is this confusion. So what is that thing that Tinubu have to spend $17 million to make sure that there were standby judges in America? Because it was like, I've never seen any kind of fight like that before. I mean, like I said, it's Nigeria. Nobody really cares. The whole institution have been captured, right? All institutions have been captured. So who exactly is going to hold him responsible for anything? Who? Is the INEC just going to wake up tomorrow and say, we are disqualifying him? We are disqualifying him? Is that going to happen? No. Not that the court is suddenly going to say, oh, really? Oh, this evidence. This is very wrong. Okay, you know what? We are disqualifying him and he should, in fact, be tried for breaking the law of Nigeria. There was a report of him being the CIA assets. So some people, Nigeria laughed it off. And they said that they are pressing due to say CIA assets. They laughed it off. They said, CIA asset. They were laughing. They joked it off. And they are watching their country economy tank, including now the rising insecurity. We're going to get to that part. So what did the U.S. District of Columbia courts what did they say? When Tinubu's record were first released in 2022, did they release everything? Like, now, to make you understand, to those of you who might want to be like interested in this, right? There were parts where Tinubu criminal life is well documented. You understand, from every state in America. That is the reason why he became the guest of the CIA, the FBI, the DEA. What else again? Right? So that's how he became their guest. Okay? And then there is a part of Tinubu as well from when he entered America. You know, the same way Tinubu said FBI, DEA, CIA, and all these agencies in America did not release his record. His record is talking about his life record in America, including when he suddenly appeared at the O'Hare Airport in Chicago in 1979 or so, with a Nigerian passport and one-way ticket. And then how he became a Chicago State University, you know, student and all that stuff. There is more. There is the part of drug trafficking. There is the part of the money laundering. There is the part of human trafficking. You see all of this, when they make them public, what does that mean? What would that mean for Nigeria? Again, like I said, Nigeria is in the worst place right now. The fact that the Nigeria institutions were unable to stop this criminal, this drug dealer, this drug addict, and the, you know, kleptomaniac treasury looter, Kolu. Now, Tinubu controls these institutions. So the institutions of the compromised institutions in Nigeria are now in his pockets by the virtue of him being the presidiate of that contraption. Okay? So that then makes it more like, what's anyone going to do? I have something to remind you of again, right? But before that, the first reaction of Tinubu's MAGA dog, you know who is the MAGA dog now? That is Daniel. His own reaction is this: mischievous and politically mechanized nonsense under the guise of US court orders, FBI and DEA to act. They claimed the order was given on Tuesday, but it never saw the light of the media until Sunday. There is nothing this opposition under the auspices of Coalition for a Wild Good Chase cannot try to do to keep relevance. They went to meet Bukwari, and it was reported that he insisted the meeting be held in or on camera